Hello. Welcome to another edition of Website Wednesday. I know we haven't done this in a while. I feel like ever since COVID happened that my attention has been elsewhere. So I'm trying to catch up. I thank you so much for tuning in today and pushing play. And today I am going to go through Shayna Hardy's website. And I do know Shayna. She's an amazing photographer with a focus on women. And we're going to walk through a full website critique. So as you can see in the video, this is her website. She has the slideshow here, which I do like. I like that it's not full screen. I know that that's kind of the trend right now is to see the full screen slideshow. But for me personally, I like to see other information as well. I think that everyone has a different preference there. So you'd really want to be in touch with your ideal client and what they prefer. But for me, I like that it's not full screen. Sorry, I had to adjust the microphone for a second. Okay, so Shayna's website, it looks like she has a message us chat thing through Chatra, which is always nice if someone can get a hold of you quickly. I will give you one word of caution on this. If you are someone that does not respond on weekends or on certain days of the week, like myself, I do not work every single day of the week. That's why I don't have one of these chat things on my website, because I don't want someone to assume that I will get back to them very quickly on chat when I don't necessarily, when that's probably not going to happen. So be careful with that. Shayna is extremely responsive, so I don't think that's a problem. But if you are thinking about adding one of those to your website, just think long and hard about how quickly you're really going to get back with someone, because chat is a little more instantaneous than email, and that might be someone's assumption. So let me close that. All right, so Shayna Hardy Photography. I'm going to scroll through the homepage, and as always, I am looking at these on my desktop computer. So always check your website on mobile to see exactly how you want it to look on different devices, not just phones too. A lot of people consider mobile and they think of phones. Think of things like tablets and things of that nature as well. So she has 3 different genres on her homepage, and this is something that she had asked me about specifically. So we're going to kind of talk about that in just a moment. I love this quote right here. Shayna, I don't know if it's possible with, let me look at how you built your website. Oh, it's Show It. Okay. So I don't know if it's possible with website or with Show It. I would assume that it is, but maybe if you can have these scrolling and maybe have 3 or 4 of them, just so that you can get more of that social proof onto your homepage. Most website providers actually allow you to put in several, and it will just scroll between the two, kind of like the homepage of photos. It's your time. Let's get started. Oh, here's some more. It looks like those are on top of the photos, but I would be curious to see how these look on mobile as well, especially with text on top of the photos. That used to be something I struggled with a lot, is putting that text on top of the photos. Meant that on mobile it looked very funny. So one thing I do want to say after scrolling down a little bit is she does have a contact, Shayna, you do have a contact button here, but I would love to see a call to action here, like maybe over here or underneath. We believe every woman is beautiful. We need to see that call to action right above the fold. And for anyone that has not joined us for one of these critiques before, above the fold means before someone has to actually scroll to see more information. So you always want to have a call to action here, and not just a contact button, but something that is very clear. People need to be told what to do. I know that we think that that's ridiculous and we're like, well, people should know, but the reality is study after study has shown that people need to be told what to do. So I would love to see a call to action, like book your session or get more information or contact me now. And to have that above the fold here would be a wonderful thing to see. So as far as the 3 different genres, I don't know, girl. I go back and forth on this. I actually ran 2 different brands when I had weddings and boudoir, because I didn't want the boudoir in my wedding photography website, and it was such a giant pain in the ass to manage. So I love that you have them all on one site, because one other thing that a lot of people don't know is that when they split sites, so for instance, when you have one website for boudoir and one for wedding, you're actually splitting the SEO benefits for that as well. So having them all on one site is beneficial. However, if you're going to force someone to choose, I would almost put this up here, because what if someone's here for like seniors and then they start seeing naked women? I don't know how they would feel about that. And again, you would really have to know based on your ideal client, because everyone is so different. But I would ask some of your clients, do you mind seeing, if you're here for a newborn shoot, do you mind seeing the boudoir? I made the choice to merge them because I figured that if a wedding client was not happy that I did boudoir as well, then they weren't my client anyway. So you may feel that way as well, in which case you can keep it the way it is. But if someone could potentially be bothered by seeing boudoir, because we all know that people have different preferences and comfort levels, then I would almost put these up at the top and then create a little landing page for each one that then has a slideshow that's specific to whatever they have chosen. So if someone were to click on headshot and branding, then that's going to be all that they see, instead of seeing kind of a family with boudoir, with glamour, with branding, with all this stuff. So consider that. Ask your ideal clients. And it's so funny to me, so many people are afraid to ask. All you have to do is ask your ideal client. Tell them, like, hey, I'm looking at changing up my website. I want to know what you think about this. And they'll tell you. Just make it super easy. Don't make them take a 27 question survey. Just email them and ask. And if you make it really easy for them to respond, in most cases, they will. People love to think that their opinion matters. So take advantage of that. So I am going to assume that the links up here go to the same place. Let me see. And as always, when I'm hovering over a link, you can always see where it goes by looking down here in the lower left corner. So this one goes to shaynahardy.com/family, as does this one. Boudoir, as does this one. Perfect. So Shayna, I am going to give you kind of some SEO feedback on this. Some people don't like it when I say this, but Show It is not ideal for SEO. I know that they have made huge strides in being more SEO friendly, but look at all this code. It makes it extremely, extremely confusing for the bots. Now, can it still work? Absolutely. But I have had so many friends call me in tears because their SEO tanked after switching to Show It. So be careful. I'm not saying that it's terrible and it won't work. Show It is so beautiful and it's so user-friendly, and I really wish that they would work on that. But I have known quite a few people who have had serious SEO problems after switching to Show It, so be careful. Another SEO note that I have for you is when it comes to, first of all, you need more text on this page. So you should have a minimum of 300 words per page. And I know that artists, we like to think that people choose us because of our art. And while that is partially true, if they can't find you because all you have on your website is art and not words, then it doesn't really matter how beautiful your art is. They're never going to see it anyway. So down here, you could even put it underneath this large slideshow here. Just put in some information about who you are and what you do. Put in some SEO keywords. Do not stuff keywords. Write it out like you're actually talking to a human and not a robot, but put some more text down here, because right now all we have is based in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's not very much. Another little hint for SEO too is I know that we have shaynahardy.com/boudoir and /family and /business, and those all make sense. However, from an SEO standpoint, if you wanted to, let's say, rank for Baltimore boudoir photographer, then you would want this link to actually say shaynahardy.com/Baltimore-boudoir-photographer. It will help immensely with SEO. So those are kind of side notes. Let's look at the boudoir page just because it's first on the list here. Love the full slideshow. It's beautiful. I like the S here. I think that's really cool. Again, I would be curious to see how this looks on mobile. So be careful because sometimes those full slideshows can look really weird on mobile. So just take a look at it on an iPad, on a tablet, on a phone, all the good stuff. So let's talk. Here's that call to action. I will say it's a little far down though. I have to scroll to get to it. We want the call to action above the fold so that someone does not have to scroll at all. Love this quote here. What is boudoir? Here is more information. And here is a pop-up specific to boudoir only on the boudoir page, which is wonderfully done. You wouldn't want this popping up on family. It just makes sense to have it here, which is perfect. I'm going to click out of that. And always, always, always have a way for someone to click out of it. It drives me crazy when pop-ups can't be closed, and I will leave a website if I can't close a pop-up. Pop-ups are annoying, I know, but they do work. Just make sure you give people an option to close them. So let's get started. Everyone is nervous. They all leave walking taller. Perfect. Love the magazine style layout, or some people call it the Pinterest layout of the portfolio. For me personally, I don't like being forced to wait for a slideshow to go. I like to actually see my options, and if I can just glance at them real quick, I'm like, yep, her work is awesome. I want her. So it just makes it faster for people. You have such a small time frame now to get someone's attention. So I do love that layout. If you're going to use that layout, though, I would really, really caution you to make sure that someone can click on them to make them bigger, which is the way that Shayna has this built. And you also want to make sure that they can control it, because if they click on it to make it bigger and then they have to close it and then go back into another one, that is a pain in the ass, and no one wants to do that. So make sure that they can control it and go between photos as well. So as we scroll down, let's start, which takes us to the contact page. The Facebook group, which is awesome. And we have quotes. Again, I would see if you can make those scroll and put several on there. Before and afters. Love. We have contact. Oh, I love Beth. That is gorgeous. So the layout is good. I like these little features here. I love the way that that's done. And because of the layout on the boudoir page, you actually do have a lot of text, which is great, but none of it is keyword specific. So be careful with that. If you want to up your SEO presence, then you might want to add more keyword specific or location specific or whatever you're trying to rank for in the text itself. But overall, it's very well done. I would make this a little smaller just so that, because right now, when I'm at the very, very top of the page, it looks like this is all that it is. So if someone is lazy and doesn't want to scroll, they wouldn't even see all this great information. So be careful with that. Headshots and branding. Same idea. Love that picture, by the way. Same idea. This is rather large. You need the call to action there, girl. Someone sees this picture and they're like, hell yeah, empower her. I want to hire this chick. Don't make them work to contact you. Have a button right here. Very easy to access. I know they can click contact up here, but I promise you, people will contact you more when you tell them how to do so and tell them what the next step is. People need to be told, which sounds so silly, but it's very true. Okay, she has a video here. Perfect. So I am not opposed to the slideshow here, especially because I can control it, because it drives me crazy when I can't control it. But I feel like you need to decide, do you want to have the slideshow version or do you want to have the Pinterest version that you had on Boudoir? It's inconsistent, and if someone looks at both of these, then they're going to be a little confused. So I like them both. I don't really have a preference to one. As long as I can control it, I'm good either way, which right now I'm just clicking and dragging for anyone watching. But I would probably keep it consistent across all of the pages on your website. You don't want it to look not cohesive, even though they are different brands, because what you'll find is that a lot of people will come to you for headshots, and once they trust you for that, then they're going to be like, all right, I'll take off the clothes and do boudoir. So you definitely want to have that consistent across the website. Grow your brand and connect to your audience. Beautiful. Again, need more keyword specific text, especially know what you want to rank for. So personal brand photographer or business photographer, corporate headshots, whatever that is, so that you can add more of that into here. And again, you're not going to keyword stuff, but now you can sit back, relax, and get back to doing what you love most, time on your business, when you have your photos done by Baltimore's top headshot photographer or whatever. Think about what you want to connect with and it kind of, or think about what you want to rank for and kind of infuse that into your text. So we have video, perfect, love Rachel. And again, we have the features here, which I like. And a call to action here. So I would just add the call to action. Think about your SEO because I think that you have a very strong portfolio and a strong website. And I think that you could rank really well if you changed a few things up. So let's look at family. Same note on the big slideshow here. And we need a call to action here as well. We need that button that we had on the boudoir page. So I know it's possible. I just would like to see it on the other pages as well. Love the Wonder Years. Love the pictures of the kiddos. More information. Again, we have the scrolling slideshow, which again, I'm okay with because I can control it. However, something to consider when you are deciding on which one to do. Do you want to keep the Pinterest style layout that you had on the boudoir, or do you want to keep the scrolling style layout, the slideshow layout that you have on the other pages? So we have the calls to actions here. I love the animation, the growing wonder family portraits. Again, get some of those keywords in here. Curious, why do we have two slideshows? So we have this one. Actually, maybe it's all vertical. No. So we have this slideshow and then we have this one as well. I'm curious why. It feels duplicated or a little overkill. You could just put all of them into one and then, oh, maybe they're different. Let's see. Growing Wonder Family Portraits. Oh, maternity and newborn. I get it. I understand. Okay. So they're different galleries. So we have maternity and newborn and then we have family and then seniors. So if you're going to split it up like this, nothing wrong with that, but I would probably have links up at the top so that people can get to what they want quickly, because my assumption when I clicked on family was that it would just be family portraits, and having 3 different galleries on here is a little confusing. So I would probably put maternity or something like shortcut to maternity and family and then seniors so that someone can get to it easily. Because if they came here for seniors and they're like, wait, these are pregnant women and kids, and they didn't scroll all the way, and people are fucking lazy. I know. I know that we don't want to think that, but they are lazy. They are not going to scroll all the way unless they are super invested in seeing that information. So make sure that you make things as easy as possible for them. And I do want to see, we have reach out, let's chat. Perfect. So we have the calls to action. We just need one at the top. And you could even do buttons like that up here at the top. Say, looking for a shortcut, I got you, and then put maybe 3 buttons here that have the different galleries. But if someone came here looking for seniors, it would be very confusing to have to scroll all the way to the bottom. And you can do links that just go to a certain part in the page. So it doesn't have to be a new page. It just goes to a certain part in the page. Beautiful photos. So here's another SEO. Wait, hold on. Family portraits. Oh, showing the portraits in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so another note with SEO is keeping all of these on one page. From a design perspective, I don't mind personally. I think that it would be fine with me, but from an SEO perspective, you're shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to that, because you can't rank for, well, you can, but it's a lot harder to do to rank for family, maternity, expecting or newborn or whatever, and seniors all on one page. So can you do it? Absolutely. Should you do it? I would not. I would separate them into their own pages so that they can all rank appropriately. But that's just an SEO standpoint. That's not from like it looks good or bad standpoint. From a design perspective, it doesn't really matter as much, but from SEO, it does. So about, look at you, ab workout. Blessed to create, be authentic. Ooh, I love that photo of you. Things I have learned along the way. So I love that you have photos of yourself. I also love that you have a photo of yourself in a bathing suit on your about page. I feel like so many women wouldn't do that, especially moms, because we feel like our bodies don't look the way that we want them to look. And I love that you have that because it might encourage other women to feel more confident in choosing you to shoot photos that they're not feeling very beautiful in. They'd be like, well, if she can get in a bathing suit on her webpage, then I can too. So I really love that you have that. I like the layout of this, how it's kind of the checkerboard. We have a let's connect here, and then we have a professional headshot, which I love too. I would change this text up a little bit. So I see beauty. Beauty is all around us. I feel like that's a little cliche. And while I know that's probably true, tell people, and you do kind of in the second paragraph, tell people that you see them, that you can relate to the fact that they're probably reading this in some sort of weird yoga pants, messy bun configuration, or that they're running their business and trying to figure out how to make everything work, and that you get them. You want to communicate that you understand any fears that they may have or things that they may be going through, so that you can adequately and go well above and beyond expectations when it comes to helping them. So I would change this text up a little bit. If you haven't seen my about page formula, I would definitely infuse that. It's about communicating, understanding, and introducing yourself and showing that you can solve what they are facing. And that will definitely be important. Let's see. Oh, I love this. This is beautiful. Love that. Well done. Not sure why that photo moves. Excited to meet. I love this quote. Excited to meet you. Call to action. Perfect. So again, decide for SEO purposes if you want this page to rank and what you want it to rank for, and infuse that a little bit. And also speak a little more directly to someone when it comes to every person was created for a purpose and beautifully designed artwork. I get what you're saying, and I am totally on the same page with you, and I agree 100%. However, what does that mean for them? What does that mean when you're talking to a woman who does not feel like a piece of beautifully designed artwork right now because she just had her third child, or because she's running a business and working 14 hours a day and like running herself into the ground? So you want to communicate a little more based on where they're coming from, not necessarily what you want them to see. You have to infuse both and kind of combine both. Resources. Find some fun. Where does that go? Oh, it's not a link. Okay. Articles. I'm guessing that this is the blog. Yeah. Okay. So I can actually see that when I hover over resources, I can see that it goes to shaynahardy.com/blog. I'm not sure why you chose to call it resources. Maybe just calling it blog. I don't know. Whatever works for you. We have categories here, which is perfect. I don't love the fact that we have featured articles and then it's 1, 2, 3, bam, bam, bam. But then we go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I would love to see it be more specific, be more cohesive, be more consistent. If you want to have featured articles, then I would put a line here, or maybe make this background a different color, just so someone knows that it's a separate part of the page, because keeping it all white here is confusing. I'm like, okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Cool. I can pick. Oh, wait. Why are these going back and forth? And it looks like this is a mistake. It looks like this is not where it's supposed to be, even though as I go down, I can see it more and more. So be careful on that. Make sure that the layout is very consistent across the board. I'm also curious why these are, the layout is off a little bit. There's more white space here than there is here. So something to consider and be careful of. But the blog, let's see, the articles, welcome friends. This I feel like is kind of confusing. Find some fun. I don't really know what that means. I thought it was a button to click on and it's not. So be careful with that too, because I'm not really sure. I feel like it's kind of confusing. I came here for resources and now I'm seeing articles, which is fine, but it's just kind of confusing, the wording and the layout. and kind of the whole layout of the page is a little confusing. So be careful with that. And again, I may not be your ideal client, so you might want to check with your ideal client, but you might be surprised when some of them are like, yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about either. All right, contact. So I will say that I really love this photo of you. You're reminding people who they are contacting. And I love that you have alternate methods of contact right here, because it drives me crazy when people have an extensive contact form and then they don't have something else, because some people may not be able to fill that out right this second. Some people may not know. They just want to get more information. Some people, the contact form doesn't work. I can't even tell you how many times contact forms have not worked. And then people are left frustrated trying to figure out, how the hell do I get in touch with someone? And then they give up and then you've lost them. So kudos to having that information there. Again, another opportunity for SEO. You can put text on this website or on this webpage too. I would just put it down below. It doesn't have to be at the top. A lot of people think that when I say put text on a page that it has to be at the top, and then it doesn't look right and it doesn't look the way they want it to. It does not have to be at the top. You can put it at the bottom, but it will greatly improve your SEO. So the footer looks beautiful. I love that we have an email address right away. There is a space in between contact and the @ symbol, as well as between the @ symbol and the S. I know that seems super nitpicky, but if someone's on their phone and trying to tap on that, then it will not work properly. So just something to consider. It probably looks prettier. I'm sure it does, because I've done it too. But just be careful, because you want it to be as user-friendly as possible. If someone's on their phone, then they can't just tap on that to email you. So I hope that helps, Shayna. Oh, sorry, you can hear my dog shaking off over there. I hope that helps. As always, if you have any questions about anything that I've mentioned, if you're like, wait, Brooke, you talked about this SEO, and what did you mean by that? I am happy to help. I hope that you have an amazing day. Shayna, your website